A lot going on in Edmonton right now. Sadly, not a lot of it is positive. To talk about it, here's Edmonton Oilers reporter Ryan Rishaug join us. Okay, Brian, Connor McDavid goes down. We're hearing a week to 2 weeks. This is a team that's got just one win in its first 5 starts out of the gate. How much trouble are the Oilers in right now?
I mean, it's kind of a worst case scenario here, Gino, when you combine the start that they're out to and then losing Connor McDavid. I mean, it's all very obvious, right? This is crushing for them. For a team that is looking to improve pretty much every facet of their game, they now have to try and do it without their best player. So this is a big deal. This is going to hurt. But they do have the luxury of, the number one player on the TSN top 50 list getting hurt, and having the number 2 player on the TSN top 50 list as well. So I think we all know that Leon Draisaitl can drive a team, can drive a line, can drive all kinds of offense. So all eyes shift to him. He's had a decent season so far. I think even he would admit that the quality of his play could go up a little bit along with a bunch of other players. So this is tough. But the Oilers are in that unique position where they have another fantastic player sitting there ready to lead the charge.
What about Evander Kanes? He's not hurt, but maybe his feelings are a little hurt right now. Just 1 assist, a -6 so far in the season. He played a season-low 14 minutes the other night, wasn't happy. He said he got into a fight because didn't matter. I wasn't going to play anyway, so I might as well just sit in the penalty box. How can Jay Woodcroft get Kane going right now, especially now that McDavid's out?
Well, Evander Kane, to your point, is interesting. I mean, he made the comments at intermission. He brought that up. He's the one that brought that up kind of out of the blue, right? So he's saying something there. Now, it's not the end of the world. It's not a huge deal, but it's certainly notable that he chose to make a comment about the fact that, I didn't get to play much there. I'll go back to exhibition season. Again, he brought it up. He said, well, I wouldn't have expected to have played 5 out of 8 exhibition games. So there, he's making a note about playing too much in the exhibition season. Evander Kane is a guy that's at times going to say what's on his mind. That's what he did the other night. There is the underlying theme, though, Gino, with this team, and it's more players needing to feel like they have a bigger piece of the pie, right? It gets into that McDavid, Draisaitl, cycle where it's just those guys just drive huge minutes. But Evander Kane has played 17 and a half minutes a game so far, and he has 1 assist. I don't know he's got a lot to complain about minutes-wise, and then when you look at his production. I think this is about power play time. He hasn't been part of the top unit power play for most of this season. He's on the second unit, and they get very little time, if any. Well, he might get that opportunity now. So if you're Jay Woodcroft and you heard those comments, how do you handle it? Maybe you just say to him, look, all right, fine, here's the opportunity. Go do something with it now. He's got a chance here to put up because he's had some things to say.
Yeah. Leon Draisaitl, you spent a lot of time in those scrums, and you know the look that I'm about to talk about right now, where Draisaitl does the death glare to a reporter when a reporter asks a question. He gets a little sour at times, which I kind of like. It's nice to have that kind of edge. But are we a far cry from the start of the season where everybody was happy, so excited? People were calling the Oilers a Stanley Cup contender, if not the favorite. And now when he most recently was asked about the goaltending, he had that sour glare on him. Is the whole vibe in that room now completely shifting?
I would say the players are trying hard not to let it. They're trying to maintain a semblance of calm, right? Because no, they're not playing anywhere near what everybody expected from them. Yes, they can look at the standings and just watch Vegas pulling further and further and further away as the nights go by, but it is still very early, and I do believe this team has a tremendous amount of confidence in itself. I mean, they were the best team in the league, basically, trade deadline in last year. They were excellent, and most of that group is back. So I do believe them when they talk about how confident they are and that they're not panicking. The Draisaitl thing the other day, I mean, if Leon Draisaitl doesn't like the way a question is framed, or if he doesn't like it, he's not afraid to push back a little bit. That's what he did the other day. He hasn't been like that overall. I mean, he was fine for the rest of the interview, and we're not walking into this dressing room where it feels like there's this massive weight and everyone's mad and angry and it's mayhem, and that was kind of a one-off, that answer. Things are getting tense, for sure. The pressure is mounting, but they're trying hard to maintain a sense of calm and a sense of confidence. And nobody is happy with where things are at. Nobody should be happy with where things are at. They need to improve, Gino, in all areas of their game. The power play, right? It's been good, but they've been giving up shorthanded goals. The penalty kill, something they wanted to improve, hasn't been improved. They talked about defensive play as being a real shift this year. Their defensive play has been worse. So lots of areas for improvement. Now they got to do it all without their captain.
And you didn't even mention the goaltending. We haven't even talked about the goaltending. At the start of the year, we were like, okay, do they have the goaltending right now? Jack Campbell, Stuart Skinner, 36th, 43rd in goals against average. Skinner has the second worst save percentage in the entire league. What's the solution between the pipes? What do you got to do? Do you wait for these guys to turn it around, or do you figure out some kind of defensive system where you completely protect yourselves from bad goaltending?
Like just line up all 5 guys in a circle around the net.
Yeah,
I mean, if there were a defensive system that would insulate you from goaltending that isn't great, they'd be using it. Listen, the solution is going to be Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell, right? They don't have any choice. We all know the situation with the cap. Yeah. Connor McDavid just got hurt. They don't have room to call another player up because he's not going to go on LTIR. So this team is absolutely maxed when it comes to the cap. There's no white knight riding in goaltending equipment on a white horse. Like that's just not happening. So it has to be these guys. Now, the reason we haven't talked about the goaltending, Gino, all those other things that I mentioned, the defensive play and the penalty kill and all those things, I would say that they are more a factor to the Oilers being where they are right now than goaltending has been. There have been 2, 3 maybe goals you would go, oh, that was a soft one. We saw way more soft goals last year than we have this year. They have not been the solution. They have not been great, but they haven't been the core problem to this point. And I know that feels odd when you look at the goals against, but I'm telling you, watching these games, you're not coming away from those games going, man, if the Oilers only got some goaltending, they'd be in way better shape. It's like 3rd or 4th on the list of issues that they have right now. So Jack Campbell was excellent in exhibition. He was really, really good in the one game. And they've been pretty meh the rest of the way here. So they're on the list, but not that high up the list.
Look, we're still early in the season. I get it, but we're a couple of weeks in, and the Oilers are already 9 points behind Vegas for top spot in the Pacific Division. They're in a bit of a hole, and right now they need to try to climb out of it without Connor McDavid.